Good morning, everyone. Welcome to First Church of Religious Science here in New York City. Welcome to everybody on our Zoom call who's signing in right now. Welcome to all of you who have been here on our meditation, everybody who's now signing in, and all of you who are watching us on Facebook and YouTube Live. Good morning, good morning. Yes, and people are still trying to get in. The board is lighting up. I want to thank you all for being with us today, joining us for this beautiful Sunday gathering at First Church here in New York City. Whether you're joining us again on Zoom or watching us on Facebook or catching up on YouTube, we're delighted to have you with us and part of this expansive and loving community. We're gathering from all over the world now, and it's heartwarming to see how many of our community, or just to see the growth. It's really phenomenal. There's 150 or more people signing on every week or 10 days, and that's amazing, and you're amazing, and we're very grateful. We're also grateful for all the comments and commentary on how these lessons are transforming lives. That's really the best message of all. So as I say, there's hundreds of people signing in every week and a half, 156 or something the last time I saw. So in addition to growing in numbers, we're growing in spirit, and we're growing in unity. Again, we read every message. There's dozens and dozens of messages that we have printed up, and we thank you. Some of you are supporting us financially. You can in the chat. There's always an option in the chat if you like to, and we're grateful because whatever donations that we receive or support goes a long way towards covering our costs. So it's important for everyone to understand that all of our broadcasts are offered free. There's no charge. If you'd like to support the church or the center, you can do so in the chat, or you can call the center, or you can write a check, whatever you like. But let everyone know that these classes play around the clock on Facebook and YouTube, so spread the word. The other thing is Jimmy sends out the pastor's message, minister's message, and there's other spiritual gems and insights weekly in our e-letter. So if you'd like to receive one, send us a message in the chat. Like a private message, and we'll make sure that you receive it. Also, if you include your number, he'll be able to send you a message reminding you of our gatherings. So, without further ado, let's begin. I should probably, don't like to use that word should, I'd like to invite you to the Wednesday evening Creative Living series that Jimmy facilitates, and always our self-healing class on Thursday. Both are at 7 o'clock. They're the same Zoom links. So let's go on. I have a special little lesson for us today. Let the service begin. This lesson was called Success Science, and it was based upon a book that I was reading, or articles by Ernest Holmes, The Science of Successful Living. And I spent some time with it this week, and I thought about it, and I thought, well, this is really, it could be a good lesson. So I have read it and paraphrased it, and I'm going to share some of it with you today. So before we begin, let's take a moment to step back from the hustle of our daily routines and center ourselves with a deep breath, a breath for perspective, inspired by Ernest Holmes. Ernest Holmes said, life, as we often forget, isn't a series of tasks to check off on a to-do list. It's an incredible journey meant to be traveled with awareness and with joy. We're all part of this grand, intelligent process called life. So it's not about resisting the small stuff, but it's about embracing all of it as a path to greatness. Deep within the center of our being is this place of tremendous intelligence. All of life is unfolding for us. Every challenge we face is not a stop sign, but a stepping stone, inviting us to live more intelligently, to align our actions with life's inherent wisdom. Just like you can't pilot a boat the same way you can steer a car, we can't approach life with a one-size-fits-all attitude. Each and every one of us are spiritual beings. We're individualizations of spirit. No two of us are alike. Our lives are meant to be lived fully and authentically according to our own beautiful patterns. Ernest Holmes shared with us the revelation that the universe operates through a mental system, and our reality is shaped by our ideas. We want to get to a place where we actually welcome new experiences. And for this to happen, we must first make room for new thoughts, new ideas in our consciousness. Life is always about change, so we must look forward to it. We must anticipate change, and we must learn to welcome it. So we're always going to be in the business of trading in the lesser ideas for greater, because life is always moving forward. And that's a rub for many people. A lot of people want to keep everything the same, and what we observe in life, especially if you've been on the planet for a while, nothing stays the same. So the sooner we can understand that and appreciate the fact that life is moving forward, I can think of many of the things I used to use in my life. They've been replaced by other things, and many ideas I used to hold dear, I've let go of. And so when I first got into this teaching, Dr. Bill used to say, we're in the business of trading in the lesser for the greater. We were raised, we were given many thoughts by our families and friends, and if you think about it, you've replaced many of them. You've let ideas go that don't serve you any longer and replaced them. And you always will be doing that all through your life. Holmes went on to say, in this piece that I'm paraphrasing for you, let's be honest, it's easy and it's comfortable to get caught up with what is familiar to us. Same routines, same stories. But imagine, he challenged us, if we dedicate ourselves to thinking a little bit more abstractly, to get a little bit more curious about other points of view, maybe what the other side is thinking or saying. Maybe if we start to get a little bit more curious and try to understand others a little bit more, and maybe if we start to invite some fresh ideas into our minds. He said that could be the end of monotony and the beginning of something extraordinary. So we can consider today opening ourselves up to different points of view, new ideas, new people, starting to get a little bit more curious, because we all have this great minds. And so let us be open to that idea, fresh ideas. Let's invite them into our minds. He said could be the end of monotony and the beginning of something extraordinary. By expanding our minds and allowing new ideas to take root, we open ourselves up to an ever-expanding array of possibilities. All of us come to this center to challenge ourselves to expand and to grow. So that is to suggest we're here to think bigger thoughts, expansive thoughts. So you might think it's too late for me, and you might tell yourself a bunch of stories about what it's been like and what it used to be like, and you can do that. I've done it. But he's challenging us in this essay, Success Science, is to think, to get curious, and to think bigger thoughts. Look at the other person's point of view, and for us not to be so set in our ways. So thinking bigger thoughts, expansive thoughts, creating a bigger vision for ourselves. Challenge the things you've said it's always been this way and we always did it that way, and challenge yourself to create a bigger vision in every area. And then nurture it with unwavering focus. So not only is he challenging us to think different ideas and consider points of view, create bigger visions, then he's suggesting that we nurture these bigger visions with unwavering focus. Ernest Holmes went on to say, this isn't just wishful thinking. It's a proven path that's been walked by the great, the wise, throughout time. And he said, and yes, by each one of us. Whenever any one of us has achieved something we thought was out of reach, He said, we were on that path before. So this message today is for anyone and everyone who feels a spark within them of spiritual freedom or is longing to express life more dynamically. This message is for those of us who chose to see beyond what they've known and who want to have a bigger life or a better life, a brighter life, more fulfilling experience. Remember, real power, true power, lies not in the external or in the external achievements, but always in the realm of what's going on within your mind, your heart, your consciousness. That's where the power is, in your thinking, your thought. Your consciousness is the canvas of your existence, and your beliefs are the brushstrokes that shape your world. You've heard me say 1,000 times, you are the author of your own experience, right? So your consciousness is the thing. Our consciousness is always being outpictured in our lives. The world that each of us are experiencing right now is more about us than what we think. So you don't think anything has anything to do with you, but in fact, your consciousness is being outpictured all the time, which is why we're always asking you, what has it been like being you? You know, what has your consciousness been about? Are you a lifter? Have you been a lifter? So everything's about consciousness. You might think, well, I didn't create any of these situations personally. You're looking to the news and you're looking to all the things. And some of you, go to, you can turn on the news 24 hours a day, and I promise you, they're not reviewing the good stories. So, and you might say, well, I didn't create any of this personally, and I didn't create these troubles, and I didn't create any of it. But in New Thought, we challenge you to think about it in a different way. Louise used to say, we're each 100% responsible for our lives. So we're challenging us to take a look at our thinking, our thoughts, and our thought processes in New Thought. And sometimes we don't like it because we'd like to hold ourselves like we don't have anything to do with any of it. In New Thought, we see ourselves as part of a collective consciousness where our thoughts and beliefs shape the reality that we experience. We completely acknowledge that while we may not have caused every challenge we face, our mindset, our expectancy, and our responses certainly contribute to our experiences. We learn here that we are co-creators in our reality. We're co-creators with the power to influence outcomes through our inner work. See, we do the work in consciousness. So we're co-creators in our own reality, and we definitely have the power to influence the outcomes of how we experience life through the use of our mental focus and spiritual practices. Instead of assigning blame, which many people blame everybody for everything, we assume responsibility for our own perceptions, and we work continually towards a higher consciousness that promotes healing and positive change in ourselves and then in the world. With that in mind, realizing that we are causative agents in our own right, in our own experience, that we have the power to mold our lives into expressions of happiness, joy, and freedom. Even when the world is going through tumultuous times, we possess the inner strength to see peace amidst the chaos. By focusing on giving, forgiving, and practicing the teachings of New Thought, of religious science, we can cultivate a state of consciousness that transcends our external circumstances. This practice empowers us to experience wonderful lives grounded in the principles of love, harmony, that are central to our teaching. We understand that our external world is a reflection of what's going on within us, not the other way around. Therefore, by nurturing a peaceful and loving inner world, we contribute to a more peaceful and loving outer world. It all begins with us. I understand that there are probably among us some who feel that seeing peace instead of conflict, especially with ongoing wars in the Middle East and Ukraine, might seem like a passive or insufficient response. Let me say, I understand it's natural to feel upset in the face of injustice and suffering, or to feel outrage. These emotions are part of our human experience. However, in our practice, we encourage a different approach. While we don't ignore the realities of the world, nor do we diminish the seriousness of the strife. Our path always teaches us to focus on cultivating inner peace as a foundation for any external action, coming from a loving place. To those who are skeptical, consider that anger often begets more anger, and violence often breeds violence, more violence. By choosing to see peace, we're not being naive, nor are we being dismissive of the world's pain. Instead, we are setting an intention, a very powerful one, that guides our thoughts, our actions, and ultimately impacts the world. It begins with me. It begins with us. We believe in the transformative power of peaceful consciousness to inspire a compassionate action and create change. This doesn't mean we're inactive either. Rather, it means that we act from a place of love first, rather than react. We engage with the world constructively, seeking solutions, genuine solutions, rather than adding to its turmoil. In this way, we can be the light. We can be the light in the dark times, and we can hold a space knowing that there is peace in a world that really needs more people like us. So getting back into the discussion about the practice of this in our own lives, Ernest Holmes' wonderful success science. You're the author of everything, your own experience. The spiritual journey of humanity has always circled back to one central truth across all of our philosophies and religions, and that is belief shapes experience. I'll say it again, it's so simple. Belief shapes experience. It would be Louise who said it's all very simple. And what she was advocating and what Holmes is advocating also is embrace a belief in goodness and develop a belief in positive expectancy, and then watch your world transform before your very eyes. Once again, so simple. Embrace a belief in goodness and develop a belief in positive expectancy, and watch your world transform before your very eyes. There's a method to this, a science of mind, that shows us how to harness our thoughts and our feelings to harvest a richer life. It's not a perpetual high that we'll have. We want to be real. That's not life. But this method, this science of mind, that will show us how to harness our thoughts and feelings to a higher place, a richer life, is about improving our mentality, our thoughts, our thought processes, our consciousness, and to cultivate more happiness, health, and financial ease. Directing our minds towards bigger ideas, grand ideas, towards the creative, expanding, and eternal is not just uplifting, it's transformative. So we want to be directing our minds towards the grand ideas, trading in the lesser ideas for the greater, towards the creative, towards expansive ideas. And that's not just uplifting, as I said, it's transformative. But you have to stay at it. So we want you to tune in regularly and center yourself often and do your work, your inner work, do your affirmations. So as we focus on the positive side of life and commune with it and cultivate positive expectancy, we're aligning ourselves with the flow of life, the energy of life, and we discover that the universe truly is on our side. Our mind, our consciousness is a fertile ground meant for sowing seeds of positivity, creativity, and loving thoughts. It's in our divine nature to embrace the great thoughts of the ages and allow those thoughts to once again inspire and blossom within us. So as we move forward, one and all, let's hold in our hearts the truth about life. Let's hold in our hearts the truth about spirit, and know that it's always wanting and trying to get our attention. You have within you this internal guidance system that's always wooing you and trying to get your attention. So it's doing it to help you expand, to move forward with ideas of freedom and creativity and joy. Let's all welcome these ideas within with gratitude and excitement and allow them to unfold in our lives. So you can say yes to life. Yes, yes, yes. And with that, let's go forward into this wonderful piece that I'm going to reinterpret from you from Ernest Holmes. In this wonderful discourse, which I've called Success Science, Ernest Holmes told a story about a woman that he knew way back in the Great Depression. He said she was near destitute. Her prospects were so bleak. She had everything working against her. Yet in her burned a strong desire, a passion to be a pastry specialist. She had a knack for it, she said, and she had a dream. And it seemed so impractical at the time because the times could not have been any more harsh and her circumstances were the worst of the worst. Nonetheless, he encouraged her to embrace her dream and to believe in the limitless potential of the universal spirit. He guided her with affirmations that she was an outlet for divine ideas and that she was free from limitation. And he suggested to her that her rightful place awaited for her. So this wasn't just optimism that Ernest was doing with her. It was a call to action that was rooted in deep faith and understanding of the laws of mind. Miraculously, it seemed, through a series of events, things seemed to conspire together for her in her favor. She somehow got noticed and found her way to the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in New York City, where her very unique talents were recognized by a special person and then became nurtured. Despite every odds, this woman began to thrive. She never allowed fear or doubt to cloud her vision. This story that Ernest Holmes spoke of wasn't just about one woman's triumph. He said it's a story for all of us, each and every one of us. It reminds us that the same power that worked through her life is available to every one of us. The universal mind and its laws do not play favorites. They don't care what culture you're from, what gender you are. They don't care about any of that. The universal mind and its laws don't play any kind of favorites. They're totally impartial and inexhaustible. And they're waiting to be harnessed by anyone willing to believe and then willing to act. Every moment, every situation in our lives is the reflection of our innermost thoughts and beliefs. That's something I say every week, but I think he says it, so I love the way he says it. Every moment and every situation in our lives is a reflection of our innermost thoughts and beliefs. It's an outpicturing of us and our thoughts. Our bodies, our environments are but mirrors of what we hold in our consciousness. See, it's always from the inside out. To change the reflection, in the outer world, in our circumstances, our relationships, our finances, everything, we must change the inner. Every week I'm asking in Thursday's class, what's it been like being you? Because I'm wanting people to understand that there is an inner dialogue, and it's one that you can change. You can be the guardian at the gate. You can do that inner work. So Ernest Holmes is saying to change the reflection on the outer. In your circumstances, we must be that person. We must be the change. We must change the inner. And we must introduce new and positive thoughts and thinking based upon spiritual understanding. Yes, it always, always begins with us. So let's take this to heart. Life is a dance of ideas, a play of thoughts and feelings upon the vast stage of experience. And you are the director of the play, of this play. You're the author of your own experience. You're the director of the play. And the quality of your life's production, depends upon the scripts that you write and the scenes that you set in motion in your mind. We, each and every one of us, are born with infinite wisdom, and we're born into these times for a reason. So there's no accident, there's no mistake. You're in the perfect place, the perfect time, all the time. Again, we're each and every one of us, we're born of an infinite wisdom, into these times for a reason. Yes, every one of us in this gathering, on this call this evening, were born in the perfect time and the perfect place, in the right experiences for what we were individually here to learn. We're not accidents of fate, but we are intentional creations equipped with the intelligence, the purpose, and a plan of the divine mind. It's long past time that we recognize this divine heritage and we take hold of the reins of life. We get to direct our journey towards the life we choose. We all remember Dr. Holmes saying, "There's power for good in the universe greater than you, of which you're a part, and you can use it." He also said, you have within you a powerful intelligence, a knowing mind that arranges the scenes behind the visible, always working to fulfill your aspirations. Embrace this truth that you have a knowing mind that arranges the scenes behind the visible. Know that it's always working to fulfill your aspirations. Embrace this truth. It has often been called the best-kept secret of the age, that this spirit, this thing that we long for, is alive inside of you. So today, as we gather, let's embrace this great truth. Let's completely rejoice in it and let it empower us to live a life enriched with goodness and purpose. As we reflect on this story and its lesson, let us affirm together, I am a joyous expression of life. I embrace the times in which I live, seeing the goodness and the richness that surrounds me. I am the full mind and love of Source in complete expression right now. The victories over my challenges are certain, for I am intelligence itself, a part of the divine. So let us carry this conviction forward, not just as comforting thought, but as a living, breathing truth that shapes our every action and our every decision. So now let's take 10, 20 seconds to be still and take a pause where we can allow this silence to speak to us. In this moment of quiet, consider the boundless creativity of the universe manifesting through each of us. So together, consider this boundless creativity of the universe manifesting through us just as it did for the woman who found her calling against all odds. In our inner silence, we embrace the possibility of transformation, the promise of growth, and the joy of realizing our deepest desires. Now let us carry this beautiful energy forward as we affirm together our place in this intelligent, loving universe. Please repeat with me, aloud or in the silence of your heart, the following affirmations. Here's the first. I am open and receptive to the endless opportunities around me. I'll repeat it. I am open and receptive to the endless opportunities around me. And next, I am a vital outlet for divine ideas, joyously embracing my path. I am a vital outlet for divine ideas, joyously embracing my path. Please repeat them to yourselves. And the next, I am free from limitation. My true potential is boundless. I am free from limitation. My true potential is boundless. Another, Every step I take is guided by the infinite intelligence within me. Breathe that in, and I'll repeat it again. Every step I take is guided by the infinite intelligence within me. And I have another. I am a living expression of divine creativity, manifesting my highest good now. I am a living expression of divine creativity, manifesting my highest good now. Feel these words echo within you. All of them, whichever one works best for you, or all of them. I'm a living expression of divine creativity, manifesting my highest good now. As we say these words and as we allow them to echo within and resonate with our innermost being, allow them to align your spirit with the rhythm of the universe. As we carry these affirmations with us today, let them be more than just words, but let affirmations, all your affirmations, be seeds that are planted in the fertile soil of your consciousness. Let your affirmations grow into actions, experiences, and the living testimony of our faith. I invite you now to think of a time when a shift in your thinking brought about a shift in your experience. I was doing that as I was putting the lesson together, thinking about when I changed my thought about certain things, how everything changed. So now I'm asking you the same thing, to think of a time when a shift in your thinking brought a shift in your experience. Maybe it was a moment of clarity where you made a new decision, a decision that was made in faith. Or a time where you saw the beauty in what once was an obstacle to you or for you. Where you definitely had a shift in the way you thought about something, and everything changed because of it. It could have been a time when you were running late. The train wasn't working, or you were in traffic, when you were stuck, and there was tension rising, and the clock was ticking. And then something happened inside of you, and you either just took a breath or turned on some music, and then suddenly time didn't matter. Because the moment was different. You were reflecting, you were thinking differently, or you realized that all was well. Could have been another type of moment, maybe where a project was going wrong and people were blaming one another, or that was the first response. But instead, you did something different. You thought differently. You might have asked for help. You did something that not only solved the issue, but strengthened a relationship. Whatever it might have been, I'd like everybody to think of a time when you had a shift in your thinking that brought about a shift in your outer experience. These experiences, when we have them, are not coincidences. They are the creative mind in action, responding to the nature of our thoughts and our beliefs. We have the power to transform anything and everything. Deep within the center of our being is this infinite power. And we can go there, and we can commune with it, and we can ask ourselves questions. We can ask our inner selves, what's the most loving thing, the most self-loving thing I can do? The universe always answers us when we go into those places, and it always is giving us information. Always guiding us. So as we come to time, closing time, it's not really closing time because we're about to open up to all the wonderful commentary from in our gathering. Let's hold on to the knowledge that we are each unique expressions of this infinite loving mind, the mind that knows only abundance, love, and creativity. Let's affirm one last time. I'm joyously alive in a universe of endless possibilities, and every moment is a new opportunity to embody the divine. I'll say it again. I am joyously alive in a universe of endless possibilities, and every moment is an opportunity, a new opportunity to embody the divine. Carry this affirmation with you this week. Let it be a light that guides your choices, your actions, and the words you speak. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here with us today, for all you do to support our center, for all you add, for your consciousness, for the beauty and the love you bring to the gathering. May everybody walk into our weeks empowered, inspired, and open to infinite possibilities that surely await you. So now we turn the call over to you. We have a tiny break, and then we share our good news, our demonstrations, and so we look forward to hearing from as many people as that want to share. Thank you, and so it is.